There are nights when I close my eyes and still see the flames, the screams, the shadow soaring into the sky, taking my child away. I was not strong enough to protect him, but I swore I would become strong enough to bring him back. I remember the night the flames swallowed my village. The sky was painted with fire, our homes crumbling into embers. The air was thick with smoke, and the cries of my people rang in my ears. But amidst it all, my eyes locked onto a shadow, one that soared toward the sun. The dragon had taken my child. I fell to my knees, my fists clenched so tightly, my claws dug into my palms. No! Tears streaked down my face as I raised a desperate arm to the sky. No, bring him back. I screamed, but the dragon never turned back. Grief could not hold me. I rose from the ashes of my home, my sword strapped to my back, and set out on my journey. I pushed through dense forests, my heart pounding with purpose. When I reached a vast river blocking my path, I did not hesitate. The water was bitterly cold, dragging at my limbs, but I swam on. My body burned with exhaustion, but my soul burned hotter. When I reached the shore, I collapsed, panting. My shaking hands pulled a tattered map from my satchel. The dragon's lair lay beyond the mountains, past the valley of shadows. There was no turning back. Days passed in a blur of hardship. I climbed treacherous cliffs, crossed lands where the wind howled like spirits of the lost. But as I made my way through the tall grass of a desolate plain, a sudden hiss stopped me in my tracks. A serpent lay coiled before me, its golden eyes locked onto mine. Its fangs gleamed as it reared back, ready to strike. I tightened my grip on my sword, my heart hammering. The snake lunged, but I moved faster. My blade flashed, slicing through the air. The serpent let out a final shriek before falling lifeless to the ground. I wiped the sweat from my brow, my breath ragged. Every step of this journey was a test, but I had no time for fear. I pressed on. Finally, I stood before the beast domain. The cavern loomed before me, and the stench of sulfur and death thickened the air. Inside, I saw her, my child. A small white kitten, trembling in a cage. Her cries were soft, but they tore through my heart like a blade. Nearby, the dragon lay coiled, its scales black as the abyss, its breathing deep and slow. I pressed myself against a rock, steadying my breath. But then, a loose stone shifted beneath my foot, tumbling noisily across the floor. The dragon stirred. Its crimson eyes flickered open. A rumble built in its chest. Then, fire erupted toward me. I dove, the heat searing past my back. My sword flashed in the dim light as I unsheathed it. The dragon lunged, its massive jaws snapping inches from my face. I rolled to the side, striking at its underbelly, but its scales deflected my blade. The battle raged. My sword meeting claw, fire clashing against steel. The cavern shook with our fury. A powerful tail slammed into me, sending me flying into the cavern wall. Blood trickled down my brow. My limbs ached, but I could not stop. I roared in defiance and surged forward, sword raised high. As the dragon opened its jaws to unleash another blaze, I saw my chance. With every ounce of my strength, I drove my blade into its maw, piercing through its tongue. The beast let out a final, anguished screech before collapsing. Its body fell still. The battle was over. Breathless, I knelt, my sword trembling in my grasp. My body screamed for rest, but my heart only longed for one thing. You saved me. A small, trembling voice broke the silence. I turned. My child stood at the edge of the cage, her wide eyes shimmering with disbelief. Tears welled as she reached out. A weak smile tugged at my lips as I stumbled forward, unlocking the cage. The moment the door swung open, she leapt into my arms, burying her tiny face into my chest. Tears of relief slipped from my eyes as I held her close. You're safe now. My voice barely rose above a whisper. Hand in hand, we left the darkness behind, stepping into the golden embrace of dawn. Together, we walked toward home, toward hope, toward a future where no fire would ever steal what we held dear again.